Hello and a very good evening. You're watching the news at 6 on Rajya Sabha television with me, Frank Pereira. Here are the headlines. Centre response to Supreme Court query on triple talaq says it will bring law to regulate marriage and divorce among Muslims if the practice is struck down. Prime Minister Narendra Modi unveils Narmada Seva mission at Amarkantak in Madhya Pradesh. Project marks the conclusion of Namami Devi Narmade Seva Yatra or Narmada River Conservation. India fights Kulbhushan Jadhav's case in the International Court of Justice, argues that Pakistan violated Vienna Convention on Consular relations by denying him access to legal assistance from India. And tensions escalate in Korean Peninsula once again after North Korea tests a nuclear missile. Pyongyang claims the weapon is capable of carrying a large nuclear warhead. Well, with the hearing over triple talaq entering its third day in the Supreme Court, the government on Monday said it will bring a law on marriage and divorce among Muslims if triple talaq is made invalid. However, due to paucity of time, the top court only heard the matter of triple talaq while keeping the issues of polygamy and nikah halala pending.
The centre on Monday told the Supreme Court that if it struck down the practice of triple talaq, it will bring a law on the issue. Arguing on behalf of the centre, Attorney General Mukul Rohtgi said that the government's intent is to bring in a legislation on triple talaq. Rohtgi also conveyed that the practice violated Muslim women's right to equality within the community and also within the country. He added that at a time when theocratic countries like Pakistan and Afghanistan are moving towards reform, India, despite being a secular country, is still debating it.
So if they try to strike down triple talaq, as is the argument that has been placed before the Supreme Court, then triple talaq will go. Why do you need legislation then? Where do you need legislation? It's only if the Supreme Court doesn't strike down triple talaq, then they will need legislation. But if it goes, then why do you need legislation? I think the Attorney General was trying to convey that they were, or the state is against talaq per se. All forms of divorce will go. And if all forms of divorce go, then you will have to bring in legislation. I don't think that's a very sensible idea.
Earlier, the Apex Court refused to hear all the three cases, including polygamy, nikah halala and triple talaq at once due to lack of time. The court said it will keep the issues of polygamy and nikah halala pending for the future. However, the government insisted that the issues of polygamy and nikah halala were also part of the order and must be heard together.
मर्दों को तलाक देने का अधिकार दिया गया है, इसी तरह से औरतों को भी इस्लाम के अंदर बराबरी के साथ खुला लेने का अधिकार दिया गया है. दोनों ये बेसिकली निकाह जो है एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है. मुझे लगता है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट जो है और न्यायपालिका हमारी हमेशा से न्यूट्रल रही है और उम्मीद करते हैं कि उस पर न्यूट्रल फैसला आएगा.
On Friday, the top court described triple talaq as the worst and undesirable form of dissolution of marriage among Muslims. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi unveiled the Narmada Seva mission at Amarkantak in Madhya Pradesh. The event marked the Narmada River Conservation Awareness Campaign that was launched last December. Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan delivered an address on the occasion. He said the movement will move to other rivers as well. Madhya Pradesh had recently declared the Narmada as a living entity with all legal rights due to a person. The Prime Minister also spoke about combating the river pollution and congratulated the Madhya Pradesh government for undertaking the noble cause.
फिर नर्मदा की सेवा का संकल्प लीजिए और नर्मदा जी से बाकी नदियों पर भी अभियान जाएगा. छिप्रा पे शुरू होगा, ताप्ती पे शुरू होगा, बेतवा पे शुरू होगा, चंबल पे शुरू होगा और एक नया इतिहास मध्य प्रदेश नदी के संरक्षण का बनाएगा.
हिंदुस्तान में कई नदियां हैं, नक्शे पर निशान है, पानी का नामो निशान नहीं है. मां पृथ्वी की रक्षा के लिए, नदी की रक्षा के लिए, पर्यावरण की रक्षा के लिए, मानवता की रक्षा के लिए इतना बड़ा अहम कदम उठाया है. और इसका नेतृत्व करने के लिए मैं शिवराज जी को, उनकी पूरी टीम को, मध्य प्रदेश की जनता को बधाई देता हूं।
Well, another big news of the day, the International Court of Justice is holding public hearings at The Hague in Netherlands on the Kulbhushan Jadhav case. India called for immediate suspension of the death sentence, expressing fear that Pakistan could execute Jadhav before its arguments are heard in the court. Jadhav is facing a death sentence by a Pakistani military court allegedly on charges of spying. Here's more.
India on Monday mounted a fierce defense of Kulbhushan Jadhav at the International Court of Justice. Arguing the case of the retired Indian Navy officer at The Hague, senior lawyer Harish Salve called for an immediate suspension of the death sentence. Jadhav is facing a death sentence ordered by a Pakistani military court on charges of spying. India said Pakistan had denied Jadhav even his basic rights. Accusing Pakistan of violating the Vienna Convention, India said its requests for consular access was denied 16 times.
India asserts in its application that Pakistan has not provided consular access to Jadhav all along, from the time of his alleged arrest until the present, despite repeated entreaties by India. Pakistan offered no explanation in its exchanges with India as to the reason why it has not provided consular access, whatever may be the reasons that Pakistan may proffer in defense of its acts and omissions.
India also expressed fears that Pakistan could execute Jadhav even before its arguments are heard. India's attorney Salve said Jadhav was framed on confessional statements extracted from him when he was in military custody. He described Jadhav's trial process as farcical and stressed that Pakistan did not respond to Jadhav's mother's plea to see her son.
The events that have transpired since March 2016 establish the farcical nature of the trial and leave no manner of doubt that in the present case the violation of consular access in the Vienna Convention has been destroyed. And this has destroyed any credibility and sanctity that the verdict of the military court in Pakistan may have in international law.
In its appeal to the ICJ, India asserted that Jadhav was kidnapped from Iran, where he was involved in business activities after retiring from the Indian Navy. India said it approached the international court as the situation was grave regarding Jadhav's case.
It only shows that the illegality arising out of violation of the Vienna Convention continues unabated. The information in public domain suggests that the appeal will be heard by a tribunal presided over by a two-star general. The death sentence stands confirmed by the Chief of Army Staff, a four-star general. It strains credulity to believe that the Court of Appeal will have the degree of impartiality and independence and decide the matter uninfluenced by these events. The appeal will be heard when Jadhav continues to be incommunicado and deprived of consular access. The military spokesman candidly, in his press briefing, admitted that he did not see any chance of the verdict being overturned.
India asked the court to declare Jadhav's death sentence illegal under international law. India is presenting its case first at the ICJ. The ICJ had on May 9 stayed the death sentence of Kulbhushan Jadhav after India moved a petition before the UN body. A Pakistan military court awarded the death sentence to Jadhav last month for alleged espionage. He was arrested on March 3rd last year. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, another news now. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas arrived on Sunday on a 4-day visit to India. During his visit, he will hold extensive talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi on key bilateral, regional and international issues, including the Middle East peace process. Besides bilateral talks, several MOUs on cooperation in various areas are also expected to be signed. Ahead of the Palestinian president's visit, India had reiterated its political support to the Palestinian cause and said it will continue to assist developmental projects there. Meanwhile, a delegation-level discussion between President Abbas and Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be held on the 16th of May. The statement assumes significance in the wake of growing proximity between the Modi government and Israel that might impact New Delhi's ties with Palestine. During his trip to India, Abbas is expected to visit the Center for Development of Advanced Computing in Noida to forge cooperation for a technopark being built by India in Palestine. Abbas will also meet President Pranab Mukherjee, Vice President Mohammad Hamid Ansari and External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj. Well, here's a roundup of some other news from across the country in Nationwide. The National Green Tribunal on Monday asked all concerned parties to file a report within a week in the Tughlakabad gas leak. The tribunal also asked AIMS to file a complete report regarding the impact of the gas leak on the health of the people. On May 6th, as many as 475 school students were hospitalized after a gas leak from a container truck parked near a school in Delhi's Tughlakabad area. The Supreme Court refused to entertain a petition by Kolkata High Court Judge C.S. Karnan against his arrest order. The court also warned his lawyers not to waste the apex court's time. The top court sentenced Karnan to 6 months in jail on May 9th after finding him guilty of contempt of court. The CBI questioned former Haryana Chief Minister Bhupinder Singh Hooda in connection with the Manesar land deal scam. The case pertains to the alleged purchase of 400 acres from farmers in Gurgaon for 100 crore rupees when the actual worth was 1,500 crore rupees. According to the CBI, the purchase was made during August 2004 and August 2007 under the threat and false apprehension of acquisition of the land by the state government. Well, the first session of the newly elected UP Assembly started on a stormy note with opposition members throwing paper balls at Governor Ram Nayak during his address. The opposition members trooped into the well with banners, placards and raising anti-government slogans. The opposition parties have decided to corner the government on several issues in the House. Well, it's time for a short break now, but news and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The sacred relics of Buddha were unearthed in Piprava in Uttar Pradesh. Buddhist monks from all over the world visit the National Museum to pay their respects. These charred bone fragments of Buddha are housed in the gold canopy gifted by the royal family of Thailand.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries. Homai Vyarawala, better known by her pseudonym Dalda 13, was India's first woman photojournalist. Vyarawala entered the field of photojournalism in the late 1930s. For nearly 30 years, till she retired in the early 1970s, at the peak of her career, she made a massive impact. Vyarawala clicked some iconic pictures of political and national leaders. Gandhiji, Nehru, Jinnah, Indira Gandhi have been subjects of her vast photographic collection. Prime Minister Nehru, she says, was her favorite. In 2011, Homai Vyarawala was conferred the Padma Vibhushan. the country's second highest civilian award.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Well, there's a marked escalation of tensions in the Korean peninsula after North Korea reported that a missile it tested over the weekend could carry nuclear warheads. While other nations were yet to confirm the North's claim, they conceded that the flight data suggests that the US's Pacific territory of Guam was well within its range. They also say that with the new test, Pyongyang may be closer to developing an intercontinental ballistic missile. The UN Security Council is scheduled to meet on Tuesday to discuss the missile launch.
Tensions in Korean peninsula escalated once again after North Korea tested a new missile on Sunday. Pyongyang claimed that it is capable of carrying a large nuclear warhead. While there was no immediate confirmation of the claim, analysts called it North Korea's most successful missile test ever. They also felt that it was a significant advance in its quest to build a nuclear-capable intercontinental ballistic missile, or ICBM.
今回の発射を通じてこの弾道ミサイルについても一定の技術その進展は得ているんだろうというふうに思っております。
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un personally supervised the launch of the Hwasong-12 missile that was launched at a steep angle. It reached an altitude of 2,000 kilometers and traveled about 700 kilometers, landing in the sea west of Japan. South Korea's newly elected President Moon Jae-in, who is seeking deeper engagement with the North, called it a reckless provocation.
북한이 우리의 경고를 무시하고 도발을 계속한다면 이미 경고한 바와 같이 우리 군과 한미 동맹에 강력한
The US also expressed alarm at the new tests, more so as speculation mounted that the missile had the potential to reach the US territory of Guam in the Pacific. It is noteworthy that Guam is home to US's Anderson Air Force Base. While White House recently mooted talks with North Korea under the right conditions, after the tests it said Pyongyang had been a flagrant menace for far too long. It said the latest provocation should serve as a call for all nations to implement far stronger sanctions. The US and Japan called for an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council on Tuesday.
今後も日米そして日韓において緊密に連携をしながら情報を分析をし、そしてしっかりと対応していきたいと考えておりますし、日米日韓
North Korea is known to be in the process of developing nuclear weapons, having already conducted 5 nuclear tests with missiles capable of delivering weapons to their target. The Trump administration warned that a first ICBM test, together with any further nuclear tests, will cross a line that could prompt military retaliation. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, China on Monday taunted India for turning down its One Belt and Road invite, saying India will have a very small role to play if it decides to join the initiative in the future. Dismissing India's concerns, China said that the mega venture had broad international support. Beijing also said that China-Pakistan Economic Corridor that is a part of the One Belt, One Road project will not affect China's stand on Kashmir. The Chinese Foreign Ministry's response came 2 days after the External Affairs Ministry asserted that India can't accept a project that violates its sovereignty and territorial integrity. India had skipped the Belt and Road Forum due to its sovereignty concerns over the CPEC, which passes through Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. On Saturday, Pakistan and China inked new deals worth nearly $500 million, covering airport, port and highway construction. Well, Union Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad on Monday said there has been no serious impact in India of the global cyber attack and government's national informatics system is working fine.
Well, as far as this whole cyber issue is concerned, the government of India is keeping a very strong watch over it. As per our information up to date, there has been isolated incidents in very limited areas in Andhra Pradesh and in a very limited area in Kerala. But we have been updating our whole security measures since March itself. Particularly, the patch system of software has been installed so as to completely stonewall any cyber attack from any quarter.
Well, earlier, India's cyber security unit, CERT-IN, had maintained it has not received any formal report of cyber attack on India's vital networks by the crippling global ransomware WannaCry. India is on high alert, monitoring critical networks across sectors like banking, telecom, power and aviation to ensure that systems are protected against the attack. However, few reports of fresh attacks in Asia and Europe have come to light. South Korea's presidential Blue House office said 9 cases of ransomware were found in the country. The ransomware has spread across 150 countries so far, hitting thousands of computers in Russia, China, Japan and the UK. It is being termed as one of the most widespread cyber attacks in history. Well, here's a roundup of some news from across the globe in Global Buzz. Malaysia seized 330 smuggled tortoises at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport on Monday. The endangered tortoises flew in from Madagascar on Sunday on an Etihad Airways flight and were documented as stones. The value of each tortoise is about $300,000. European Union foreign ministers prepared to discuss a global strategy in the area of security and defence and the EU-Africa relationship at Brussels in Belgium. European Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini said she was also hopeful about a peaceful end to the latest Venezuela unrest. Meanwhile, the British Foreign Secretary said that Brexit bill will be part of a negotiated package. Firefighters worked almost 2 hours to extinguish the fire at an Indo-Seal synagogue in Manhattan on Sunday. Officials said no one was injured in the fire and investigation is going on. The Beth Hamidrash Hagadol synagogue was built in 1850. An engineer involved in the 2015 Amtrak train crash in Philadelphia was charged with involuntary manslaughter by the Philadelphia Municipal Court on Thursday. The court also ordered revival of charges of reckless endangerment against him. It said while there was evidence that the derailment was caused by operations conducted by him on a speedy train, there was no sign of criminal intent. Well, let's shift focus now and bring you up to speed with some sports news and Sports Beat. Well, India finished the Asian Wrestling Championship campaign with the summit winning a silver medal in the 125 kilogram category on the concluding day of the continental event. In the gold medal round, Sumit lost to Yadola of Iran to 6 to settle for the second position. Indian wrestlers bagged 10 medals including a gold, 5 silver and 4 bronze. This was more than the 9-medal tally in the last edition of the championship in Bangkok. Rafael Nadal beat Dominic Thiem 7-6, 6-4 in the Madrid Open title. The pair stayed neck to neck until Thiem lost his nerve and made 2 unforced errors in a row that gave away the set to Nadal. Nadal now holds 5 Madrid titles. The 14-time Grand Slam winner broke in the opening game of the second set and saved a breakpoint in the next, maintaining a 2-game advantage until a thrilling 10th game. This was Nadal's 72nd tournament win of his career. Lewis Hamilton won the Spanish Grand Prix to cut Sebastian Vettel's overall lead in the Formula One Championship. But Vettel has 104 points to Hamilton's 98. This was Hamilton's 55th career win and Hamilton's second in Barcelona, which ended a run of 10 different winners in 10 years. Daniel Ricciardo was the only driver not lapped by Hamilton and Vettel in a race after inheriting third. Well, that's it on this newscast. Have a good evening.